Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Conversation with the T-Bugs. I'm here today to talk about a very serious topic. I know some of you may not like to hear what I'm about to say, but what I will ask you, whoever is listening, of course, hit that button, the subscribe button, and also hit the like button before we start. This is going to be a very serious topic connected with society and what is going on today in the world of raising boys, especially. Today, we're going to talk about raising boys by single mothers. It's a very hard, it's such a topic that is very sensitive. Some of you may not like what I'm about to say, but everything that I'm about to say comes with a fact. These are facts that are out there. You can search about them, you can read about them, but all I'm asking you is to listen with an open mind. And of course, as I said, the topic is about do single mothers cause more harm to a boy child or raising a boy child alone with no male figure? And of course, as before we start, the single mothers we're talking about the single mothers who deliberately take the sons away from the father. We're not talking about the mothers who have become single mothers because of losing their loved one. Some of them, of course, who have deadbeat dads, and of course, they don't want to get involved again with a male. Then, of course, we have others who have. We talked about those who have lost their loved ones. But this topic is mainly for those women who are called single mothers with no regard of their sons pull their child away from their fathers, deny the fathers from seeing or being part of their child's life because of so many things that are going on in the mother's life, which amounts to bitterness. Many mothers today have not, of course, we're seeing what is going on in society. Why society sometimes is the way it is because of the way we are programming the families. Today, the family, of course, the family structure is kind of crumbling to the highest level in the modern world today. So, who are the single mothers? Has nothing to do, of course, many of you may think I'm talking about the black mother, the Asian mother, the white mother, anyone called a single mother who has deliberately decided to deny the child a father figure. Of course, this is also going, of course, coming to my diaspora group. I've been noticing, yes, there are so many children today that are born in the diaspora, but many of them are being raised in single homes. The diaspora has also picked up this disease of chasing the fathers away. Of course, some of the issues that happen here is many of the women This goes to do with the women who start off relationships with affairs. You find that many of them start off as side chicks with the hope that the man will ever leave his wife, only to find out that they are pregnant, raising and of course giving birth alone, and then the drama starts. Drama starts. The woman develops a lot of bitterness towards the man, and of course, you'll find that other women, especially because this is this topic I want to gear towards my diaspora group. You'll find that diaspora men, as you may see today, some of them, most women today, once they have done whatever they have done, and they see the body clock is winding up or catching up with them, they tend to treat men just as sperm donors. Many women would rather break up their homes for the welfare check. So many people, of course, they don't care. They Once they give birth or they have their child, they would rather go to the welfare route than having a well-rounded home. So you'll find that many men today, of course, given the system of the welfare, they don't care about fathers. All about they care mostly about treating the man as just a financial factor, nothing else. But it's another way of we have come to destroy our homes. So you look at young men raised by single mothers. There's something lacking when you around, look around and see so many of our young boys are lacking something. Young boys need a good role model in their lives. Of course, many of you are going to tell me your didn't examples like many of you have seen many people like to talk about Obama. Many of you like talking about all these other men who have been raised by their single mothers. But you look when you talk about a person like Obama, he was surrounded by their grandies, which is another factor that however much sometimes you're a single mother, I would rather think that surrounding the child, especially the boy child. Today we're talking about the boy child. Next time we shall talk about the girl child. The boy child needs a lot of role models because we as males, I'm a father too, but we as males, we do things via actions. So of course, you will see that many mothers claiming that I can raise a child by myself. I can do everything by myself because I have a very good job. I'm doing this, but the child is lacking something. You will see that some examples. Sometimes many of you have seen things, maybe TV shows like Everybody Loves Raymond. It's a very good show that some of you can go back to and refer to how a boy sometimes, how single mothers or mothers in general who don't let their sons grow up, how they affect their sons. So I would like us to look at effects. I've seen mothers who are referring to their boys or grown up men. They still refer to them as baby. Oh, my baby this, my baby that. Oh, come on. These things are what. When a mother starts treating their sons, not letting them grow up, doing everything for them, You are not letting them be men. So I'll give you examples that some of the things that some of us have to really go into. Of course, mothers, we are acknowledge you, we appreciate you. Those mothers, there's a lot that my mother does for the well-being of a human being. So does does a father. But I will have to say that women today have to work. Women today have to fend for the family, have to provide for the family, and by doing so, you'll find that many of the children they tend to be with, especially boys, they are left by themselves. They are left to grow up or find male traits by themselves. However much sometimes a mother, you can be a mother, but you can never teach a boy how to be a man. You can never. However much you try to say I can do it by all by myself, you can never, as a mother. More so, when you look at the issue that is causing all this, you'll find that many mothers, of course, today, we're talking about the single mothers. Many are so bitter. They are so bitter. They speak so negatively about the father of the boy in front of the children or the boy, thereby creating a negative effect on the boy child. The boy child today is left alone. You'll find that society, when you look around, especially diaspora society, we tend to society tends to deal mainly with a girl child, but we don't give the boy the equal attention, the equal amount of time that society gives the girl child. You'll find that young girls, by the time they are 10, they have a way of trying to be independent. But of course, the boy child, given the fact of being with a single mother, everything is done for. Even from picking up their clothes, or they even can't make a simple sandwich because the mother is doing everything for them. The single mother, but then being so tough on the girl child. So you will find that a young man raised by a single mother feels and knows that he's lacking something, but cannot fully pinpoint it. That is why you see that most boys, once they become teenagers, if you're lucky and they don't join a bad group or peers, you are lucky. Count yourself blessed. But many boys, once they find out that there's something fully missing, they will tend to join gangs, they will tend to join groups because they feel they want to have that manly feeling which they feel that they are missing, and the mother is not going to give them that. So you'll find that any problem that surrounds the child has a mark of a missing father. We have seen crimes, we have seen early pregnancies, name it. Of course, there are so many factors that sometimes, if we were to go into statistics, you'll find that you can go to the Census Bureau, you'll find out what is going on with the family structure. And if we don't address it, especially given the factors of the diaspora, I see many people have lost their morals, they have lost their background as they've lost their roots, so they're trying to pick up characters and behaviors from the places where they are at. So you'll find that the boy child in the diaspora is really lost. And I hope we can save the boy child. This it will help us, of course, as a society. Once a boy child is saved, once a child is saved, we're now talking about a boy child, because that is why we see so many issues of you'll talk about so many issues of an absentee father. You'll find that some fathers do not want to miss from being absent from their children. But you'll find that some of the things that are being done by the single mothers are pushing away their fathers. This is going on, and not even, diaspora. You look at the diaspora, these are church going people, but not even the churches are helping at all. They are not concerned about a boy child. You'll never hear I've taken time to go around so many of the churches that many of these diaspora people go to, trying to listen and hear what exactly is talked about the boy child, trying to see their programs, what programs do they have. There is hardly any program in society of the diaspora that is geared towards raising a good rounded male child. This is going on, and it's going to cause a very, very serious disaster within the society. You'll see that many of the mothers, of course, as I said, they are very hard on their daughters, but hardly on their sons. So mothers raise, I would say that we're setting up our boys for failure. That is a given. Many boys today are set up for failure, and all they're doing is sitting in their rooms playing video games. And of course, the mother is not there to show them maybe even what a young man should be expected to do, because they're doing everything for them. So, so you'll find that the boy child is set for failure. So, as I say that mothers use their sons. You have seen it. Many single mothers are using their sons to replace their missing husbands. They refer to them as their little man or little man, but still raising them as boys. So, so you'll find that the little boy is thinks he's being called uh, is being called the little man, or being called the man of the house. Yet even they can't even pay a single bill. This is damaging the brains of so many kids, or so many of our sons. You find that mothers, of course, still many mothers are leaving the female, or should I say the boy child is faced by so many, being raised in a single mother home. You'll find that there's a lot. I'm very, 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 very sad because I've been noticing this in the society, and there seems to be no one program helping the boy child. So, mothers replacing their sons uh, with their husbands, so they tend to hold their sons hostage with their emotions. They hold them hostage with their emotions, um, that you'll find that they don't let them boy grow up or do anything for themselves. This is very, very damaging. It is going on so many levels. You find that men should have a capability to fix things around the home, pay bills. Let's say fix things around the home. Look, ask yourself, does those of you who have sons, have you ever seen your son trying to fix something? Not even a single, maybe knob or handle that has fallen off the cupboard. Does this boy try to fix the stuff back or just leave it there? Do they even, you see, even just trying to take care of the house, that keeping it clean, vacuuming? Do your sons do that? No, but of course, being raised by single mothers, they want to do everything for them. And of course, you look at we have seen situations going on in society. Of course, the shootings and all that, the crime. But you'll find that single mothers, of course, they tend to protect their sons. That their son can commit no crime. You'll find that a single mother will defend their son, no matter what. Their son can kill someone, and the mother will defend her son to the last and call everyone a liar. But that is not right. That is not right. So the question is, who is going to teach our boys to be responsible? Female teachers, TV peers, radio, extended family, coaches? Who is going to teach the diaspora boy to be very responsible? Ask your question. Ask yourself, who is going to? Behind most males or most irresponsible behaviors, you'll find many irresponsible male behaviors. You'll find that there is a single mother behind who did not raise him right, or there is a father missing within that responsibility of that young man. I know women will not like to hear that, but let's just keep chewing the meat and throw out the bones, if you know what I mean. Women, of course, I'll say women they help in building society, but at the same time, they can help destroy the society. Today, we're talking about fatherless sons. Fathers are not there. Women are the. We'll say that sometimes I talked about many of these issues instead of as women being mistresses, and women today's society they call it side chicks. But I would like to ask yourself, before you bring a child to the world, women should always know that they are the gatekeepers of sex. So by the time you're going out with a married man, by the time you're going out with a this nothing to do man, only to get pregnant and then bring up a child, then you start complaining about each and every man out there. So who is to blame when you look at such a situation? It is you, the woman, who failed to close her legs, who failed to be responsible with your sugar walls, Of course, looking for the so-called bad boys. Yeah, the bad boys, you go with them, mingle, and what happens? When you become pregnant, you're left alone. These are the responsible boys also that continue in society. So, women always remember that you're the gatekeepers of sex. So, when you start complaining about men being terrible, men being this and that, yeah, you also have a part to that you played. Don't don't preach that kind of gospel, because you're also partly to blame. So um, we need to understand that most mothers are not comfortable about talking to their sons. For example, how is a single mother going to talk about to her teenager about grooming, about sex? They cannot. Even the kids will not listen to them. Most of these boys of this era, you'll find that a boy is 14 and is 5'8", 6, somewhere 6 feet already. So they are already dwarfing their mothers. Tell me, how are they going to listen to their single mothers? Research shows that most boys learn about, for example, sexual stuff from their peers or on the streets. Kids of today are active at 12 or 13 years of age, but mothers still call them babies. They still call them babies. Back in the day, you remember, if a man got a woman pregnant, he had to marry her. No questions asked. Or you couldn't even escape. Because once the girl's family got to know who the boy is, the boy had to marry that girl. So there was no playing around. It was a sign of take responsibility. If you play, then be responsible for the outcome. Now most of these young boys or men are walking without any consequences. It's more like walking on a road, or driving on a road toll without paying toll. Those of you who have road tolls. So you'll find that because society, especially the moral, especially given the morals, are not being enforced. As I said, a single mother or a mother is going to protect and defend their son no matter what, even when they know they are wrong. Because of this is what is happening. So no wonder why cultures are falling apart. You can see that. If you're old enough to play, then take care of your responsibilities. You want to mess around with someone's sugar walls, deal with your responsibilities. So okay, and of course most fathers and tough tough mothers will say that if you get pregnant, then you will raise the child. Of course, many of these, if someone gets pregnant, they have tended to hide, or their grannies have tended to hide them because tough parents have kept the ground. So when there are no rules at home, many of the young men fall in trouble, starting with school and on the street. Many of the young boys are, again I said, these are 6 feet, they are 5'8", 5'9", They're really tall boys. Of course, they think they are men, but they have no proper guidance. There's no male figure to ground them. And of course, this saying of let the young man be a man, or men, boys will be boys, that is also a destructive statement because it goes with the lack of responsibility. So you'll find that a lot of the boys are in trouble. So most times you'll find that most times when it comes to the boy child, the boys tend to focus so much. Let's say the boy child or the males, we tend to deal with action. The single mothers or many of these mothers who are thinking that they are doing whatever they are doing or they will do it by themselves by just talking, it's going in one ear and coming out the other. So you'll find that there are some women who will keep their children away from their fathers. I'm talking about those nasty, bitter women. Need to stop if they are really, really, if they really care for their sons. They need to stop. They are really destroying the boy child. So, yeah, this thing sometimes I find no words, but we have to understand that the boy child is really left alone. No one is helping the boy child. No one. So you look at the boy child. Today you'll find that the boy child, of course, you come from the single mother's home. You're going to school. When you go to school, what do you see? Or who is the first person you meet? It's a female teacher. So you'll find no wonder that so many of our young boys are being suspended. Oh, no wonder so many of the young boys are dropouts. You'll find that given the issues that are going on, for example, in schools, what is going on? All the school shootings that you may see that have happened, for example, those who are been around school shootings, all these children have come from single mother homes, picking up a gun and going shooting other students. Then at school, of course, as I said, the boy child tends not to listen because they have been trained not to listen to the mother at home, so they bring it in society. They come into society with no regard of rules and order. So whoever is in authority, they try to tell them to stay in line. They will not. So that's why you see they are being fired at work because they do not take order, or they like to yell, or they are being hustling it out with the police because they do not want to listen to order, stuff like that. So you'll find that some of these things, of course, we may not. Some people may get maybe getting may start getting upset or not understanding where I'm going, but try to stay focused on the issue. This is an issue that is affecting the boy child on a very, very, very serious scale. There are some others, of course, who know that, for example, some mothers out there, they know that their son, let's say, impregnated some girl, and all they say, boys will be boys. Imagine. That is how most single mothers tend to address such issues. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. If the pregnant girl is your daughter, would you still say the same thing? Imagine. Hmm? So women, we need single mothers. Of course, there are so many things that are going on, and you're influencing your children in a very, very, very terrible way. I said this is geared to the mothers who pull their sons away from their fathers. No woman can teach a boy how to be a man. You think you may, but you can never. Some of you, of course, I will ask you, can you teach your boy how to urinate or to pee? You cannot. When they are young, of course, you take them in your bathrooms and some kids are even they wonder what the urinals are for, or they see them later on in life. They have never seen them or used them. That is what is happening because today you look at what is happening to society. Why are so many children going on braiding hair? I don't know, putting on braiding hair because that is what they have been around their mothers. Or their mothers, the ones who started braiding hair, their son's hair. And here we are in society. You look at some of us, when we grew up, we never put on, for example, pink shirts. Pink shirts were left for anything pink was for the females. Now society has changed because everyone now is putting on pink. Of course, the boys were left to wear blue. Okay. Nowadays, you look at society because boys are seeing so much of their mothers. They're wearing necklaces. Have you seen some boys even painting nails? Come on. Pierced ears. That is all because our boys are being surrounded by lots of female structure and lack of male structure. Sagging pants. I cannot. Many fathers cannot let their sons walk around with sagging pants. But of course, when you look around, where is all this stuff coming from? Single mother homes. Take it from me. Oh, okay. So when you look at other terms like SOB, of course, you know what it means. Some people were trying to say that, trying to direct to people who came from single mother homes. That's why they normally used to use that word, SOB. You know. So you'll find that a lack of structure has really, really gone ahead to destroy the boy child. The major influences, of course, you'll find that on the child, especially the boy child, you'll find that 62%. Now, if we go into stats, you find that 62% of our boys live in homes run by single mothers. 62%. Then you'll find that Other influences, so you'll find that 62% most of the boys are being influenced by their mothers. Another factor that is influencing the boy child is the peer group. That is why you see a boy decides to join gangs, decides to join a group which is geared towards his peers. TV, you'll find that yes, TV today, I don't think you can, if you sit on a TV for an hour, you can really name any positive male on outside the news, any positive male model on the TV of today. Then you'll find that another influence when it comes to school, 85% of the teachers are women. So the boy is coming from the 62% for, from the homes run by the single mothers, going to the 85% teachers at school who are women. So mostly men will come in around maybe the fifth grade, or for PE. Fifth grade, that the boy is already gone. That train has already left the station. Boys need to be got at an early stage. So another influence, you'll find that if we talk of the diaspora and all that kind of stuff, yes, many of them like to go to churches, but you'll see many families going to church, and you ask yourself, where is the boy child? Most boys do not go to churches, they will stay home. So they why is that? You'll find that many churches today do not have any programs. Again, what I say, they do not have programs geared towards the boy child. They do not. And there's nothing to attract the young men to go to church. There's nothing. So, and of course they would rather sleep, or because they stayed up late in the night. So when it comes to church, the single mother cannot tell them to wake up to go to church. So again, only men can make boys men. So when we look at the peer groups, you'll find that million young men, for example, the influences that we have today, basketball. You'll find that there are over a million young men who want to play basketball. But when you look at basketball, for example, 400,000 maybe in high schools are playing basketball. Only 4,000 will play in college. Only 35 will go off to the NBA. But when you go to the NBA, only 7 are chosen by the team. And when you're chosen by the team, that career normally on average lasts for about 4 years only. So you'll find that we have a million boys looking for 7 jobs that only last 4 years, because our boys have no proper campus from society. Society is neglecting the boy child. So when it comes to the quickest way to destroy a black or any boy, start with a boy child. If you want to destroy society, that is the quickest way to destroy society. Of course, we have seen that mothers raise their daughters and love their sons. They do raise their daughters, but they want to love their sons. So, what are some of the things that, of course, I did tell you that there are some factors that when you look at the stats, I was talking about the stats. If let me give you some of the stats that I found in the census on the Census Bureau. You'll find that 63% of the youth suicides are from single mother homes. 63%, which goes to say 5 times the average. Then you'll find that 80%, of course, today we're talking about the Me Too movement and all that kind of stuff. Me Too movement is going to affect mainly the boy child who is not well guided. So, talking of the Me Too movement and what is going on, you find that 80% of the rapists with anger problems come from single mother homes, 14 times the national average. So, you'll find that 85% of all children who show behavior disorder come from single mother homes. So, let's go on. Of course, 85% of all the youth in prisons come from single mother homes. If you look at 90% of homeless and runaway children are from single mother homes. If we go back to teenage pregnancies, 71% come from single mother homes. 71%. I told you that 90% of adolescents, of course, come from who try to commit arson and all crazy crimes are from single mother homes. 71 of high school dropouts come from single mother homes. Let me go on. Of course, 70% of the juveniles in state-operated institutions have no fathers. So, we can go on and on and on, but these are facts. So as the mother, if you're pushing away the father of your son, thinking that you can do stuff by yourself, or because you're making money, you're doing this, buying them phones, buying them all these gadgets, thinking that you're being all to them, you're mistaken. You're only destroying that boy for the society. And if a child or a boy child is not well rounded, is not well brought up, who is going to suffer? Who is going to suffer? Society is going to suffer, but the other girl who has been brought up properly, or who is trying to start a family with this young man, is the one going to suffer because the boy was not well brought up. So, single mothers who are not raising their sons properly, they tend to bring all the trouble onto the girl child. Imagine that. So, The girls who have tried to raise themselves in most cases tend to land on to the bad, the poorly raised sons. I told you there are not so many movies that out there that I can refer you to, but I try again. I told you try going to Everybody Loves Raymond. I like that show because it's a family show, but it shows how a mother does not want to let their son grow up, their son be. Even when they are married, they try to force their way into their sons' marriages. So, some of the things that, of course, sometimes when you look at the boy child, we have seen that women, again, those bitter women, change. You are destroying society, you are destroying the boy. You are destroying the boy. If you are bitter, if you are not happy with yourself, do not hold your sons hostage. Do not hold your children hostage. But right now we're talking about the sons. A son without a father is going to be a distraction to the girl child. It's going to be a distraction to the to society as a whole. So, single mothers, some of the things sometimes, of course, that you can do. I've told you there are some good single mothers who have nothing to do with the issue of bitterness, but because situations happen, they lost their husband, maybe the man went away, they're left to raise the kid by themselves. But what is some of the good mothers out there who are maybe single? They tend to find positive role models for their boys through strong men like coaches, enrolling them into strong male sports, surrounding them with positive role models. Of course, some things, of course, that we look at is stuff like Boy Scouts. Of course, right now, Boy Scouts, not so many parents are comfortable with Boy Scouts, given the issue that are going on with the Boy Scouts of today. So, become aware that the problem does exist. Do not shield your boy from the problems that are existing. Find mentors for your sons. There are groups out there. Find mentors. Good mentors, of course, boys' clubs. I told you about scouting is another one. There are boys' boot camps. Find a way that you can help the young man to become a man. Help them. Of course, as a family, you could also go back and see. There are good movies, of course, like Simba. Simba is it may be a kids movie, but it goes to show what exactly happens to the male. When you look at Simba, of course, it started off. I'll not tell you. You go watch Simba. If you're a single mother, that is one of the movies that can help you or can direct you to understanding the male child. So I'll say that yes, find mentors, good mentors. There are so many mentors in society out there. But of course, you with some single mothers is when they see good mentors, they think the man is gonna is hitting on them, or they don't. They feel like every man or every male is bad given their past experiences. Keep your experiences to yourself and let the boy be. We are now raising a boy for society. For that next girl who may be someone's daughter, we need to have a well-rounded boy. So work on motor skills. You'll find that if, let's say for example, if you're cooking, teach the boy how to cook. Teach the boy how to cook. Okay, basic simple things. Rice, so make a sandwich. Don't just keep making and serving the kids or the boy, because he will grow up knowing that I'll have to wait for someone to serve me. And that is what is happening in so many single mother homes. They tend to feed and they take care of the boy child. Oh, come on. So you'll find that, as I say, that the girl child is raised, the boy is loved. So as the boy child is playing with the toys, the girls are working with crayons or pencils or with the dolls, and you wonder why. Try to direct the boys to different motor skills. Instead of playing with the toy trucks, try to help them to find some other guiding motor skills. A boy comes squealing and screaming about a little bug. Teach the boy not to do that. You know. So when you look at, of course, many of you don't know even your child's peers. A very big mistake that goes on because the mother is busy working. So you're busy working, you don't know what is going on. That is what is happening. So mind the TV. So be careful what your child is watching. Many boys would prefer, or not prefer, but it is best for the boy child to know about sex education before they are 12. It is sad that many boys of today or in society run by single mothers, we say there are 62% of homes run by single mothers. Not so many boys are going around knowing about sex. They are learning about sex from their peers, from the TV, from their phones. Right now they have gadgets 24/7, which are being bought, of course, by their parents as a way of not feeling guilty for not giving them time. Of course, find a way to listen to the children or to the boy child. Understand how he feels, not imposing your feelings onto him. Your female feelings. Let him address his male feelings. So, on average, you'll find that because not so many parents, of course, on average, I'll say a mother only spends 37 minutes with their children. That is a working mother. So 37 minutes. How much are you going to know about this boy who is growing up? How much? And of course, on average, fathers spend about 7 minutes with their children. So you'll see the disconnect there. Then when we come to schools, schools again try to find role models. It's all about role models. try to address academics over athletics. You find that most of the male kid children, because they're lacking the male figure, they tend to go into athletics just to escape their mother. That is how they try to escape away from their mother. So, again, try to find. We need role models. We do need role models for the boys. So, once that is done, of course, I would call upon uh, society to try to come up with more programs for the boys. The boy child is becoming a left out issue in society today. So, we'll say that, when I say that mothers let this, of course, there are some ladies that I know, however much they may be single mothers, but they try as hard as they can for the child to be, or to spend, for the boy child to spend time with the father. There's some very good women out there, no matter the issue or the factors that have happened in their life, but their goal is to make sure that this boy child spends time with the father. And we praise such women. The problem is that there are very few in society. Very few. But such women know the value of the father in a boy's life. They do know that. Fathers do make a deposit in their sons, that when a boy child starts growing up later on in life, they go back to whatever their father deposited in them, and they try to withdraw from that, from what their father told them, from what their father guided them, what their father taught them. So we as male, we tend to go back to that deposit, and we try to withdraw from that for the rest of our lives. But that will not happen when a boy is run or is with a single mother who is even holding his emotions hostage. You get it? So you'll find that society today, even it is very sad, but most fathers are only treated as providers. Look at the government. Only sees a man as a provider by slapping him with child support. No program geared towards nurturing. They think it's only the mother and who will nurture, but it's all another form of family destruction. That is a talk for another day. So you'll find that society again is neglecting the boy child. Many children today have not seen a good marriage, for example. Many are in broken homes. However much they are in broken homes, but there is no guidance around them. Not even from school, not even from churches, not even from kids today are raising up themselves. You know, or being raised up by social media. So Of course, we need to stress that single mothers help your boys. Help boys by surrounding them with good mentors. If their fathers are around, do not pull their fathers away from them. Later on in life, this is something that will be very beneficial, and this is something that the boy child can be thankful for you doing it. Uh, Something that your boy child or your boy or your son can be thankful for, not your gifts, not for whatever you bought and did. All they need is the time they spent with their father is what will matter. The time, the good things that their father taught him is what is going to help the next daughter. But you deny that, you're destroying society. You deny that, you're putting all the burden onto the next woman who is going to be in your son's life. That is if you let them be, because many single mothers do not let their boys have relationships. They tend to sabotage them because they fear any woman who tries to take up their position. They don't fear, but they try to sabotage any of their sons' relationships. So you'll find that I'll say that of course we have seen, yes, there are fathers who are trying so hard to reach out to their children, but because they're dealing with a bitter ex-wife, a bitter girlfriend, fiance, because the relationship never happened or it went south, so many of them stay hostile and angry. So let society call, or even you as a single mother who is doing this, look into yourself, look yourself in the mirror, and go above and beyond this kind of action that you may be doing. So, of course, some of us who have seen people like Tupac, who once said that, I know for the fact, I'm just quoting him. He said that, I know for the fact that I had a father. Had I had a father, I would have some discipline, I would have more confidence. He admitted that he started running around with gangs because he wanted the things a father gives to a child, especially to a boy. Structure and protection. Many boys in a single mother homes are not getting structure and protection. So your mother cannot calm you down the way a man can. You need a man to teach you how to be a man. You do. You do need that. So, quietly ask yourself, what causes the biggest threat to society? Ask yourself. To me, it's the absence of the father. It is. And of course, you'll see some fathers who want to be there. Of course, many fathers may not want to go through the court system that the women or the bitter women tend to put them through, because they have, some even have other cases going on or pending. So they stay out of their children's lives. And this is how generations get lost. Generations get lost through this. You look at the diaspora today, they have picked up this kind of factors. That is why you see people, we have moved into other lands, but now they have picked up behaviors which do not look like the way we were brought up. So you'll find that most boys want to learn from a fellow man. So, for example, a boy can see, let's say, Uncle Tom has put up a house. Then to himself he says, "Oh, I also want to put up a home like Uncle Tom." Because we as men, we tend to imitate or look up to other men. We don't. We like to go by action. That is how we are as men. So, if a boy has no access to good mentors, to good male role models, he's gone. He's gone. No wonder today we have so many what we call CC males in society. So you look at we have talked about so many the household is full of females. Most boys are lacking that. So the male with the boys you don't just speak to them. Boys need action. Do you ever wonder why boot camp sergeants talk the way they do? Do you? That is how sometimes young men listen. They tell you to do something, to keep trying till something is done right. That's how male sergeants do it. Just remember how many of us grew up. We had to first clean before you go to school or before you got what you wanted to eat. Someone had to wash the dishes. During the holidays, the parents would tell the house help not to do any chores. Most of us only stayed grounded by the mere eye a parent gave us. You remember the eye? A parent just gives you the eye and you say, "Whoa, I need to put myself straight." But today, try giving the eye to your child or to your son. Tell me whether it will work. No, it cannot. Because they feel they control the home or because they feel they can always get away with stuff. Stop this. I would say, especially to our single mothers, find strong male models for the boy child. Stop calling them babies. Stop calling them little men. Stop treating them as a replacement for your husbands or for your gone husbands, for your gone bad boys or ex boyfriends. Stop it. So, you can, you hear this in society, of course, where mothers are complaining about their teenage boys, that they don't listen. Again, because men still talk to them like babies. Besides, boys feel like mothers talk to them in French or Chinese. They feel that their mothers don't want to know how they are feeling. So that sometimes that's why they act the way they act. A true man is one who takes responsibility for his actions, period. Nothing else. A true man is one who takes responsibility for his actions. Mothers, just learn that. I'm talking about the single mothers. Most mothers are not aware of the male reflections. Male reflections. I don't know whether many single mothers. You'll find out many single mothers of today. You have not. The only time, let's say, for example, talking of the diaspora, many of us went in single sex schools. Single sex schools, the only time, let's say you're in, say, different sexes, that was at a university. But of course, at a university, then you find that most women and some loose boys went wild because they felt that they are now free. They're out of the gates. They are away from their fathers and mothers. So that is the first time that most people go to be around a male, if as a female, or a male as be around a female. So that is what happened. So you'll find that most mothers, yes, they have become mothers, but they have not been around males for that long. Most women, when do they become mothers? At 25, 30. Many have been in school. Many have been, who some of them even all they have is sisters. They have not been so much around males, so they don't know much about males. Only when they have their boy, then they try to act with the little they know about teaching the male or the boy how to be a male, but they can never do it. So there are reflections in a boy's life that at a certain age a boy should wash himself. At a certain age, a boy should walk to school by himself. At a certain age, a boy should be talking about a girlfriend. At a certain age, moms should stop buying boxers or underwears for their sons. So there are certain reflections that the mother may not be aware of, but many single mothers continue doing those things, which is wrong. So I know this is gone. It's been a long talk, but I want to talk about some of the things that I've come across as a father, that I've seen in society. So hopefully that whatever I've talked about here, it can help someone. It can guide a boy. So talking of guiding, there are certain books that young men can arm themselves with. There are certain books that I like, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. That's a very good very good book for a young man. You find there's another book, Manhood in the Making by David Gilmour. I like that book. It's a good one. Then you find other good books like Wild at Heart by John Eldridge. It's such a good book on this topic, discovering the secrets of a man's soul. That's a very good book, Wild at Heart by John Eldridge. I like the book The War of Art. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. It teaches you the depth. It goes into depth into the passiveness of a man. So, and of course, look at some good movies like The Pursuit of Happiness by Will Smith. That was a good movie of how it shows how a man was trying to take care of his son no matter what the situation is. Such a very good movie. There are certain skill sets that every man should master. Self defense, boys who fear flies, can you imagine? Do we have them in today? Financial acumen. Those are certain skill sets that a male boy should start learning at a very early stage. Effective networking. It is part of a male to build a network. Continual education. Continue to educate yourself as a male about your surrounding, about what is going on here as a man. Assertive communication. It is something that is a very good skill set that a man should have. Physical strength. Exercising. You know, so besides other things like tying a tie, shaving, ironing your own shirt, you know, all those things should be there. But single mothers, as we know, are not letting the boys be. They are not letting the boys be, you know. So many mothers don't know. When you push the fathers away, single mothers, the bitter ones, are the ones I'm talking about. There's one thing that you don't know, that in a child's life, their first hero is always their father. Any child looks at their father as their first hero. So if you push him out, that means that you have taken his hero away. So always think about that. Each time you try to deny the father from seeing his son, being bitter and ending bitterness. So, and of course, there are so many things that that you need to understand. I've talked about the skill sets, I've talked about the books, I've talked about the damage, I've talked about the statistics that are going on, how you're affecting the male child, how you're affecting society. You single mothers who are bitter. Single mothers who are not letting males, proper males, in your sons' lives. You're doing a disservice. Some of you, of course, you want to raise fashionistas, you dress them nicely, you dress them, but they have no skills. You're seeing a well-dressed young man, but no skills at all. They don't. So, manhood is not money. It is a series of actions. That is manhood. So, don't think that if you're gonna give and support your son, you have taught him how to be a man. No, you are instead just destroying him. A lot of these single mothers say that I got money, I don't need him, I can do it by myself, until they run into something terrible going on with their son, and then right there they try to look for a man to help them. I told you, these young men nowadays, they are very tall, they are big kids, 6 feet or whatever, and then you find a mother of 5 feet. They are dwarfing their mothers. So please understand, you know, understand the effects and the distractions that you're bringing towards the boy child. So, oh my goodness, this is of course, I know this may not go right by others, but again, as I said, we need an open mind. Nothing good comes without criticism. Nothing good. So we can look at some ways that mothers are destroying their sons. There are certain things that, for example, speaking negatively about their father. That's the equal of the mother getting the fist in the jaw of the child. Usually, boys grow up doubting themselves, thinking that there is something wrong with them. Boys who grow up in single mothers because they have had mothers go, come on, you look like your father, you're doing things like your father, stuff like that. Or your father is a no good for no nothing man. So the men grow up with a lack of self-esteem, saying negative things about a man due to failed relationships with their father. Many single moms have, should I say, they have this hatred for men, and they show it to every man they come in contact with. So they are moving with their young boys and they are showing them all this hatred, teaching their sons to disrespect their father's authority. This sometimes can start with even when they are in the same home. So they teach their children to disrespect the males or the male or the father authority. No wonder they get in trouble with the police or supervisors or at school. Women do think that they're getting back at their sons' dads, and it has long-term effect on their sons. Projecting angry statements onto their sons. You're going to grow up like your no good father. I don't know. No wonder some boys put up emotional walls because of their mothers have been saying such statements. Such statements knock boys down and they withdraw socially. Not allowing their fathers to see their children, single moms should never deny their father from seeing their children. It is his right, just as you have the right. You both became parents on the same day. You became a mother, he became a father. So think about that. So you don't think that you know better or you know more. Not everyone, both of you, you're both parents. Boys need the relationship with their father to gain a sense of themselves and to understand that their maleness or their being a male, what it means. Without that, they grow up lost and confused about their identity. You see that in society. Many are very confused. Okay? So bringing up or trying to you will find that some single mothers try to substitute their father or their sons' fathers. Most single mothers don't understand that the only father that can meet the needs of his son is is only the biological father. And some of these substitute male you bring in your lives, they even try to block you or give you bad guidance. Bad guidance by stopping you letting the father see their child or their son because you have brought a bad substitute into into the children's lives. So only the biological father can meet the qualities that the son needs. Cuddling your sons. Oh, this is very common, of course, with you single mothers. Single moms are the biggest enablers of bad behavior in boys. They blame others but their sons. They'll always bail their sons out no matter what offense they have made or done. and blame the rest. So there's an inconsistency in the discipline. That's why I say that the fathers tend to provide structure and order in a child's life. Boys take no responsibility for their actions, too little or no punishment from their single mothers. So that's why you see that they tend to bully the single mothers, or that's why they tend to join gangs. You'll find that single mothers tend to teach boys to be emotional. They overshow their emotions. It's not saying that emotions are bad, but they over display their emotions just because they have learnt from their single mothers. A man who has no control over his emotions is prone to rage and disagree and uncontrolled disagreements. Look at that. So that is something that is common. You will see this in society. Uncontrolled emotions. These are the men who tend to get into bitter disagreements. You know. So the boys also tend to grow up with no boundaries, taking unnecessary risks because they have no fear of authority, because they think their mother will not do anything to them. Single mothers tend to use their sons to get their emotions met, and that sucks the life out of the boys. Many of you may be seeing that, preventing them from growing up. You know, they tend to hold them hostage emotionally. Many single mothers often kill their boys emotionally by choking their life out of them with their constant nagging. Of course, today what you call the helicopter parents, all the time over their shoulders. You know, let the boys grow. Then, of course, single mothers are kind of many of them tend to be big bullies. Single mothers tend to use their threats and verbal abuse to control their sons because they act frustrated when they act in a male way. They don't understand. So when a boy tries to act in a male way, then the mother gets frustrated because she hates men, and then she starts threatening him with verbal abuse. You know, boys grow up seeing women as overbearing, so that's why some men tend to hate women, just geared from their mothers. So you'll find that trying to run his life, single mothers always try to control every move of their son. Every move. They often define their son's manhood on their own terms. So if if a boy wants to behave as a man, they will not let him because they want to define it for him. Trying to turn their sons into perfect people. They think they can make their sons better than their father, which gives their son inferiority complex on top of insecurities. So men who fail, fall, and screw up, society has shown that they tend to be better people in society. But those of our sons who have been raised by single mothers, single bitter mothers who don't want the boys around their fathers or around proper role models of a male, when they fall, they never dust themselves off. The mother wants to bail them out. He wants to support them in everything. That they don't know how failure is something to help them grow. So many single mothers don't want their sons to be independent, always professing to love them. When they try to be independent, these mothers sabotage their sons' actions. What some of you may call arrested development. So, oh goodness. As sons grow up, single mothers tighten their emotional grip on their sons because now they feel that their son is about to leave them. So they will is about to leave them, and as the son starts growing, they fear that he's about to find out the truth about his father, because many mothers were saying lies about their fathers. So the single mothers tend to tighten the emotional grip, of course, by trying to make him feel guilty. Why are you not calling me? Have not come to see me. They shed the funny tears. So many boys are confused about such issues emotionally. So then, of course, when it comes to the sexual part, you'll find that many boys are confused about their sexuality. No further to show them about the male related, to show them about their maleness, their masculinity. So instead, they learn that from their mother, who has a wrong experience with the men of her past. So you'll find that single mothers, they're the ones who tend to tell the boys or their sons that all women are whores. Many single mothers express jealousy at a younger woman who is with their son. Oh, this. So they will try to sabotage that relationship no matter what. They resent the possibility that their son will have a successful romantic relationship. So, no matter what, they will break that up. If you're a single mother, put aside your bitterness and let the father get involved in their son's life, and you will be the one benefiting. Trust, yeah, you will benefit. His father is the only one who can teach him the lesson he will need to become a man. Let the young man become a functional adult. Please, let the man become a functional adult. So, manhood is all about, as I said, responsibility. It's being present and responsible. Maturity, leaving a legacy. Manhood is all about your identity, your sexuality. So the sins of the fathers become the sins of the sons, if not well groomed, if not well directed. So that's why I say that to the sons, of course, once as you are becoming a man, try to look at the things that your father did not do right, try to do them right in your life. Try to be a better man, better than your father, or better than the male model or role model in your life. So today, of course, mothers, we have talked a lot. Today we have the the, the society of just giving presents, phones, gadgets, thinking that that will cover for the for being absent. So let us go back and reflect on our lives. Reflect on your lives as single mothers. Life is like a wheelbarrow. It goes in the direction you push it. That is how it is. So you push your son in the direction that you think you're doing, that is how he's going to grow. But you're not going to teach him to be a man. Please understand that. Let other men push him into the direction of being a man. So give him space. Let the man grow up again into a functional young adult. We need that in society, for society to move right, for society to function right. Single mothers, you need to play the role right. You need to play the role right. Other than destroying the male child, especially, and throwing all the unnecessary burden onto the next young woman who is going to try to suffer and raise your son for you because you did not do it right. So, once again, it's been long, but hopefully that we have picked, or you have picked one or two things. Go back again, look at the role models, find mentors for your son who will guide your son to grow up in a proper way. Look at movies like Pursuit of Happiness, Simba. Disney is a very good movie. Of course, and understand the the rite of passage for a young man. Most young men do not have the rite of passage. Most young females, yeah, they become 16 and they are sat down, they are talked to, they are done whatever, which the young man is not given. They don't have the rite of passage. So let us change that, do that for the young man to grow up to be a good, functional man and help society. Thank you. Again, subscribe, pass on to someone else who you think this information may help, and together let us build a village in raising the male child. Thank you.